I'd like to call to order this meeting of the North Brunswick Township Board of Education. Start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Brockman,
Yes.
Mr. Duran Harris, Miss James,
Present.
Miss Keefe,
Here.
Mr. Liguori,
Here.
Dr. Patel,
Here.
Miss Toth,
Here.
Mr. Wen,
Here.
and Miss Zolik.
Here.
We have a quorum.
The New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and to attend public meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interests is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with the Open Public Meetings Law, the public notice of this meeting, which included the time, date, and location, was distributed by 3:30 p.m. on Thursday, March 2nd, 2022, in the following manner. Posted on a bulletin board reserved for announcements in the Board of Ed office, 25 Linwood Place, North Brunswick. Mailed to the Home News Tribune, the Sentinel, and the Clerk of North Brunswick, the Township of North Brunswick, and delivered to the 9 duly elected board members. At this time, we have presentations for the retirees.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Vice President. This evening, we are very pleased to honor our retirees from North Brunswick Township Schools, and our Assistant Superintendent, Mrs. Amy Kita, is going to lead that.
So thank you. One of the things, and we know the end of the school year in June, we do recognize, as you can see on the agenda tonight, all of the retirees for the 21 to 22 school year. And we are fortunate to have two with us here tonight who we will recognize in a few moments. But one of the things that I wanted to, I guess, accentuate for the board is the fact that all of the years combined of this year's retirees, they served in our district a total of 371 years and 7 months. So I definitely think that deserves a round of applause. We've been so fortunate to have these dedicated employees with us. Again, we thank them for all of their years of service and dedication to our district. And on the next slide, which again is replicated from the agenda, does show all the retirees for this past school year, and if they were district or what building they've come from. And at this time, we are fortunate to have two of our high school retirees with us here tonight, Mr. Ross Sherman and Mr. Paul Liddy. And at this time, we'd like to introduce MBTHS Principal Michael Neller to come up and say a few words about his retiring staff members.
Good evening. It's my pleasure tonight to acknowledge two of our retirees at the high school. Although I will miss them both, and I enjoyed working with them, and I had an opportunity to work with them throughout the years. I do want to wish them the best of luck in the future. Ross Sherman is retiring from our Learning Center. Ross, I believe you started teaching in 2000 in MTHS? 2001. And he was, for many years, he worked with some of our special ed students who needed a lot of support. He worked with them in the resource room, and he also worked with them in the ICR setting. And he always put his students first in trying to support them in the classroom. One of the things we will miss most about Ross is whenever, and I never hit him up for this, but I did see Pete Clark do it quite a few times. But whenever we needed someone to sing, Ross has an amazing voice.
Really?
And we could always rely on him to sing the national anthem or other songs at different ceremonies that we had throughout the years. And so we will truly miss that about Ross as well. He was always a smiling face in the hallway, someone who always greeted everyone, and especially, greeted our students each day. So congratulations to you, Ross. Now, Paul Liddy, I don't know if Paul knows this, but when I left in 2008 to go to another district for a little while to pursue an administrative position, I believe Paul replaced me in the social studies department. And he has been teaching there for the last 14 years as part of a long career for Paul. And when I got to come back as social studies supervisor, I was supervising Paul and I went in his classroom, and I immediately understood why students really liked his class. It was just a great atmosphere, very laid back. I really enjoyed the way he talked about history. He made history interesting for his students, teaching US 2 for many years. And I did have an opportunity this year to read an essay that a student wrote to him about her experiences in his class, and she felt the same way I did about it being a nice place to learn, that Mr. Liddy knew his history and knew how to make it interesting for everyone. And in addition to that, he also has been our boys soccer coach for the last 14 years. He's won county tournaments. This year, 2016 was the last.
Yes. Yeah.
We won the county tournament. This year, unfortunately, we finished runners-up in a very close, exciting game back in the fall, but it does not take away at all from all the accomplishments Paul's had on the soccer field as well as in the classroom, and we are truly going to miss you at MBTHS, but hopefully I will see you at future social studies events.
Gentlemen, can I have you come up for a picture? Mr. Neller, can I take a picture with the three of you up here on the dais? Would either of you like to say something? Thank you, Mrs. Kita, for arranging that, and thank you, retirees, again, for all of your dedication to our students. That's a lot of years for not just you two, but all of the retirees. It's pretty amazing when you think about the legacy you left behind for our students, so thank you.
I'd like to move on, open up a public hearing on policy and regulation 2361, acceptable use of computer network, computers and resources.
So no public comment?
Seeing no one, I'd like, Ms. James, can you make a motion to close the
Sure, I move to close a public hearing on policy and regulation 2361, acceptable use of computer network/computer and resources.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The public session is closed.
Okay. Mr. Wen, can you make a motion on the meeting minutes?
Sure. I'd like to make a motion to approve the following board minutes. Conference public meeting, May 11th, 2022. And regular public meeting, May 25th, 2022.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All the minutes have been accepted.
This time, communication reports.
No communications, but I do have my administrative report. So good evening to all of our families, guests, and viewers here tonight. On Friday afternoon, it was an honor to preside over the North Brunswick Township graduation at the Cure Arena in Trenton, when our class of 2022 graduates graduated. Congratulations to our valedictorian, Dhruv Shah, who is attending Georgetown in the fall, and to our salutatorian, Kushan Jain, who is attending Rutgers in the fall. The class of 2022 will be moving on to college to many four-year schools, including, but not limited to, NJIT, Princeton, Colgate, Drexel, Northeastern, University of Maryland, Villanova, and University of Pittsburgh, just to name a few. Over 20 graduates will be attending Rutgers University right in our own backyard. Over $1.4 million in college scholarships have been awarded over 4 years to members of the class of 2022. Other students will be attending Middlesex College, starting a career, or entering the military. We are extremely proud of our MBTHS graduates and look forward to their accomplishments in the future. On this agenda, you will see the revised school calendar for the 22-23 school year. This calendar had previously been approved in 2021, and there were no emergency or snow days included, because at that time we thought we would be able to use virtual days. This version of the calendar adds in emergency days, as well as, for the first time, adding in a day off for students for Diwali for this year, something that has long been discussed and that many of our neighboring districts have already put into place. This day will be a professional day for staff, and for those celebrating Diwali on our staff, they can take it as a personal day. Additionally, the first day of school has been adjusted from August 31st to September 1st. And as we move into planning calendars for the 22-23 and 23-24 school year, we will be sending out a survey this fall to parents and staff to garner input on their preferences for different holidays. While we would like to offer every holiday off, each one we take does impact how long we are in school in June, and we do look forward to gathering that information for our future calendars. Our extended school year program for special education students kicks off virtually this Friday and continues in person starting Monday the 27th and goes through the first week of August. Additional summer programs kick off on Monday and run through July on Mondays through Thursdays. I wish everyone a fun, safe, and relaxing summer. On another note, I would like to take a moment to introduce our new dean who will be hired this evening, Shelley Marinack. She is currently a social worker at the high school and has been with us for quite a few years, and we are excited that she's going to be stepping up into this new dean position that was created, and would like to familiarize the board with her and have her come up and perhaps say a word or two. Yep. That's okay. No, they need it for the TV. They need it for the TV to be able to hear you.
I just first want to thank you, Mrs. Shiroko, Mrs. Kita, for making this experience amazing. And I want to thank the board for backing me and believing me as well. I have a lot of people to thank. It's been a long journey, the 13 years of working as child study and AAA behavioral program. Trying, but I've loved every minute of it. I also want to thank, Mr. Neller, Patty Van Langen, Mr. Emmanuel who hired me. and it's just been a great journey, and I want to hit the ground running. I want to continue my work and what I've done in special ed and bring it to the 9th graders. And I'm very excited, and I'm very humbled by this entire experience. And I want to thank my daughter. Sorry, we've been through a lot. She's been there every step of the way. So thank you again. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome to the admin team. That is it for my report this evening, Mr. Vice President.
Thank you. Any committee reports?
Sure, I can start. The Education Committee met on Wednesday, June 15th, and we discussed the assessment and grants, specifically NJGPA, the NJSLA. The Start Strong assessment is also going to be scheduled again this September. We also talked about the ESL screening for fiscal year of 2022-2023. We discussed curriculum instruction and technology, the data science and statistics, which is a new course offering for next school year for grade 8, which is exciting to hear that it's an accelerated course. We also talked about the geometry and construction program that will launch at North Brunswick High School next year. The curriculum is going to be developed, and we look forward to seeing that roll out. We discussed the status of the dual language program and the difficulty that we're having with obtaining more qualified bilingual certified candidates, but we are hopeful that we will be able to meet the need. And if not, we will just figure out what we need to do going forward. We discussed student services, of course. Our summer programs are ready to go. There's been a lot of work that have been dedicated towards getting those up and running. The Jumpstart program, the Credit Recovery, Summer Academy, and Summer Institute as well as ESY, which Superintendent Shiroka mentioned will start this Friday. I just want to thank everyone that was involved with getting those programs launched and prepared for our students this summer. They really do sound engaging. Lastly, we discussed the policies on second reading. Those policies are 2416.01, which is postnatal accommodations for students, and policy 2417, which is student intervention and referral services. And we had no issues with those policies as written, and we plan for them to be adopted. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Mr. Wen?
None at this time.
None at this time.
Ms. Toth?
Yes, good evening, everyone. The Human Resources Committee met this evening, actually, right before this meeting at 5:30. We discussed our retirements as listed on the agenda and the presentation. Again, we thank you for your many, many, many years of service, 371 to be exact, which I just learned a couple minutes ago. So again, we really thank everyone for their dedication to this town, our district, and to the students. We discussed resignations as well as new hires for next school year. We also discussed current leaves of absences and some different requests. We discussed the hiring of substitutes throughout the summer. We also discussed the remainder of the summer staffing that we have going on with ESY. We discussed current vacancies and the status of some of our new hire positions for next school year. We also discussed some other leaves of absences coming up for some different reasons. In the agenda listed, we have the different coaches and clubs listed out for your review. In terms of our community relations, we had discussed that our last strategic planning meeting for the district will be tomorrow in the evening, and then that will be presented to us as a board, hopefully in July at our July meeting. We also discussed some different reassignments throughout the district and some reassigned staff. And then finally, in terms of policies and regulations, there was none to discuss this month. And we are looking forward to a report for next month. So thank you so much, and that concludes the report.
Mr. LaWarrie?
Mr. Vice President, the Business Operations Committee met on Wednesday, June 15th. Among the items discussed, we were joined by our architect of record, Mr. Campizano, who brought us up to speed on a couple of facilities issues. First, regarding the high school and the roofing work that's going on there, he indicated there's probably about another 6 weeks of active work to go, but no issues at this time. We also discussed, as we had last month, that we were working with the ESC on estimates for our improved security booth. We're happy to announce that there is a motion on tonight's agenda. It's on page 40, item 3O, not 0, but O, for $119,000 for those improvements. Mr. Campizano brought us up to speed on the elementary HVAC issue that has been going on for quite some time. There was an issue at Parsons in the past that's now been resolved. We're still waiting for estimates that will follow regarding some HVAC work in our kitchens as well. In terms of the middle school, we've been discussing the installation of solar at that facility. Unfortunately, some of the parts have been delayed, so that will linger on for quite a while. The girls' locker room has been having an issue with a waste line, unfortunately. We're happy to report that Terminal is going to step up and replace that for us at no cost to us, the way that it should be. We then discussed food service at our committee meeting, and on page 39 tonight on items 3 and F, 3E and 3F, excuse me, there's a motion to approve the purchase of some tables and an oven at John Adams. We also discussed that on a future agenda there'd be motions on merchandisers and point-of-sale devices at the various schools as well. We discussed the Linwood roof, that some small sections remain. We're going to be bidding that out this summer as a fall project, and we wrapped it up by talking about that there's the second reading tonight for one policy and one regulation. It's policy 7410, maintenance and repair, and regulation 7410.01, facilities maintenance, repair, scheduling, and accounting, second reading. So we would have read both of those in May as well. That concludes the report. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Dr. Patel?
Not at this time.
Ms. Zulik?
Not at this time.
Great. Ms. Keefe, can you take that motion?
Yes, Mr. Vice President. I would like to make a motion to approve the administrative and committee reports.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All the reports have been accepted.
We'd like to review the agenda as we go through. Pages 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8, 9 and 10, 11 and 12, 13, 14, 15 and 16, 17 and 18, 19 and 20, 21 and 22, 22, 23, 24 and 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30 and 31, 32, 33, 34 and 35, 36 and 37, 38, 39, 40 and 41, 42 and 43, 44, 45, 46 and 47, 48 and 49, 50 and 51, 51, or 52 and 53. Like to open up the public session on agenda items only. Seeing none, Ms. Toth, can you take a motion to close?
Sure, I'd like to make a motion to close the public portion of this meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? This portion of the meeting is closed.
Mr. Legori, can you take the consent agenda item?
Sure. Mr. Vice President, I move to approve the following consent agenda items: Personnel 1 and 2, Curriculum 1 and 2, Miscellaneous 1 and 2. Finance items 1 through 4, Policy Transportation 1 and 2 takes us all the way to page 53 of tonight's agenda.
Second.
Mr. Brockman,
Yes.
Ms. James,
Yes.
Ms. Keefe,
Yes.
Mr. Legori,
Yes.
Dr. Patel,
Yes.
Ms. Toth,
Yes.
Mr. Wen,
Yes, except for personnel, number 2, section MM, attachment 7, for which I abstain.
and number 7. Thank you. And Ms. Zolik.
Yes.
All of the motions have been accepted.
Okay, like to open up a public session on any matter?
Good evening, everybody. I always introduce myself. I don't know why you all know me, but I'm the president of the North Brunswick Township Education Association. I just wanted to come here tonight and to just, congratulate everybody, the board, admin, staff, students on a heck of a school year. It was definitely, I would say, the most interesting one of my entire career. I've been here 17 years. And I think all of the staff said that this year, and we got through it. And I think it's not just about getting through it. I think that we did a great job getting through it, and we did well getting through it. I was, just reflecting on this year, and like I said, it was difficult in a lot of points, but I think that we did a very good job getting through it, and I want to congratulate our staff, our admin team, our students on that. I look forward to the successful ratification of the contract, and I just want to wish everybody a very good summer and well rest and all that stuff. So thank you very much.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Seeing no one else, Dr. Patel, can you make a motion to close?
Hi, I'd like to make a motion to close this public session and go into closed session.
Second.
Not going to close. Not going to close.
Close the public
Just to
session.
close it.
The public portion. Sorry. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The public session is closed.
Whereas Section 8 of the Open Public Meeting Act, Chapter 231 PL 1975 permits the exclusion of the public from a meeting in certain circumstances, and whereas this public body is of the opinion that such circumstances presented exist. Now therefore be it resolved by the North Brunswick Township Board of Education that the public shall be excluded from the discussion and action upon the hereinafter specified subject matters. The general nature of the subject matter to be discussed is as follows: 2022-23 through 23-24 NBTEA contract agreement, 2022 through 23 NBTBGMA contract agreement, legal matters, personnel matters. It is anticipated at this time that the above stated subject matter shall be made public at a time as the need for non-disclosure no longer exists. This resolution shall take effect immediately. Good night.
I'd like to make a motion to go into closed session at 7:27 PM.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We may go into closed session.
Can I get a motion to open up public meeting again?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We are back in session.
Ms. Keefe, can you read?
Yes. I would like to, before I make a motion, I would like to thank the MBTEA for their collaborative negotiations. I would like to thank the board, Ms. Shiroka and her team, for all of their hard work. I am happy to say that the board is making a motion to approve and ratify the MOU between the North Brunswick Township Board of Education and the North Brunswick Township Education Association for the 2022-23 and 23-24 school years. Be it further resolved that the board hereby authorizes the board president and board council to draft the contract for the 2022-23 and the 23-24 school years, and authorizes the board president to execute that contract.
Second.
Okay. Mr. Brockman?
Yes.
Ms. James?
Yes.
Ms. Keefe?
Yes.
Mr. Liguori?
Yes.
Dr. Patel?
Yes.
Ms. Toth?
Yes.
Mr. Wen?
Yes.
And Ms. Zolik?
Yes.
We've successfully have a new contract.
Ms. Toth, can you make the next motion?
Yes, I'd also like to echo Ms. Keefe's sentiment about our collaborative negotiations with the North Brunswick Township Building and Grounds and Maintenance Managers Association. Also want to just thank Superintendent Shiroka and her team, and the Buildings and Grounds team. So I'd like to make a motion to approve also. Be it resolved that the board hereby approve and ratify the MOU between the North Brunswick Township Board of Education and the North Brunswick Township Buildings and Grounds and Maintenance Managers Association for 2022 to 2023. Be it further resolved that the board hereby authorizes the board president and board council to draft the contract for 2022 through 2023 and authorizes the board president to execute the same.
Second.
Mr. Brockman?
Yes.
Ms. James?
Yes.
Ms. Keefe?
Yes.
Mr. Liguori?
Yes.
Dr. Patel?
Yes.
Ms. Toth?
Yes.
Mr. Wen?
Yes.
And Ms. Zolik?
Yes.
We've successfully approved that contract as well.
Mr. Liguori, can you take the next motion?
Sure. Mr. Vice President, we have a motion to approve a sidebar agreement between the North Brunswick Township Board of Education and the North Brunswick Township Education Association for the 2022-2023 and 2023-2024 contract agreement to supplement the terms and conditions of employment for secretaries and clerks, permitting them to work in their regular workplace and building without an administrator present.
Second.
Mr. Brockman?
Yes.
Ms. James?
Yes.
Ms. Keefe?
Yes.
Mr. Liguori?
Yes.
Dr. Patel?
Yes.
Ms. Toth?
Yes.
Mr. Wen?
Yes.
And Ms. Zolik?
Yes.
The sidebar is approved.
Ms. Zolik, can you take the next motion?
Yes, thank you. Motion to approve a sidebar agreement between the North Brunswick Township Board of Education and the North Brunswick Township Education Association for the 2022 to 2023 and 2023 to 2024 contract agreement to supplement the terms and conditions of employment for 10-month secretaries and clerks relative to August workdays preceding the beginning of school.
Second.
Mr. Brockman?
Yes.
Ms. James?
Yes.
Ms. Keefe?
Yes.
Mr. Liguori?
Yes.
Dr. Patel?
Yes.
Ms. Toth?
Yes.
Mr. Wen?
Yes.
And Ms. Zolik?
Yes.
The sidebar has been approved as well.
Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The meeting is adjourned.
Go, 10 after 8.
Nice job, Dave.
8:06.